let me apologize to my loyal fans. I did mean to upload a video last night, but I'll just make one video for both today and tomorrow. I got observed today by my supervisor, and it went pretty well. I had some really good things said about my lesson, but overall it's just the pacing I have to work on, and I know that now. Like, I use timers and everything, so I try to make it stay on task and on time, but sometimes the kids just don't transition the way I thought they would, or the activities just take longer, or the sequence of events don't go the right way. But now I know that some things that require them things that take them longer to do, I should probably put at the end of the lesson instead of putting at the front, because what we were doing today is we were having them review their test and make corrections. And so then I gave them like 25 minutes to do that, and it took pretty much the whole time, but then you have to like add on transition time and everything, and it just took up more time than it needed to. So there was one class I did the reverse order, and they had time to get through everything, and they did their test reviews, and it was fine. So I think next time, if I ever do test reviews again, I will make them at the end instead of at the beginning, so that we can get through everything we need to for today's lesson. So there's a lot of things my classes have to make up next class. Really only one of the classes finished the lesson, today and yesterday's lesson, and so they get to move on to the next stuff, but now I have to figure out a new like pacing and a new system for tomorrow. I'll probably have to cut out some activities for some of the classes, which will be kind of annoying with grading, because it would be nice for all of them to have the same grades in, but I have to work that out, so that's more work for me. I also have to finish the materials and things for my lesson plans, which I really needed to do during the weekend, but I did not get to that, so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. And then I have an interview tomorrow, so hopefully I can get everything done in time enough that I can get some good sleep and knock this interview out tomorrow. So if you see if this is up before tomorrow, I'm gonna try and get it up. Send some good vibes my way, send some good prayers, and wish me luck. Hopefully I get this, or get an offer for this job. I have one tomorrow at 4, and then I also have one on Saturday at a job fair. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes well and we're good. But first, I gotta get this lesson sorted out, because that needs to get done. And I can't ask for an extension because the kids are gonna show up whether I'm ready or not. That's one thing I realized this week, is the kids are gonna be there whether I have an activity for them to do or not. So I have to get everything finished. So that's one thing I'm kind of struggling with, just kind of getting my stuff together and making it presentable, because I have the thoughts, it's just all the materials and the tangibles for them to actually do the activities I keep thinking of. So hopefully I can get all that done tonight. I do have planning first period, and so if all else fails, I can use that one good hour and try and get stuff done, but I don't want to resort to that because things happen in the morning, and I can't always trust that that's going to be a good time to get work done. So I need to get stuff done today so I can print things out tomorrow and present, and everything will be good. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Let me talk a little bit about my day today. I'll try to make this quick, not because I have work to do this time, but because I have a housemate that is sick and I need to get in and give her the medicine that I just bought for her. So, first, my third period is the best class anyone is ever gonna have. Like, they're so on it, it's great. Perfect size, the smartest kids, and they're awesome. I had that class today and I was like, this is how I want all of my classes to go. Like, they talked, yeah, they had fun, yeah, they may have talked more than I wanted them to, yeah, but that was okay, because that period is the only class that I am actually on time or on pace for. We completed everything last class, and so we were able to start with the fresh new stuff this class. I was able to tell them that they had assignments to do. They were able to do those assignments. Everything just went well. I presented the information clearly. I got everything done. We did all the activities, and we finished like a minute before the actual class was able to end. And with that class, the way it's set up is we have the actual class, and then there's like an extra 20 minutes or 15 minutes really for the midday announcements. And I ended before the midday announcements. I was like, yay, I pace. That's the thing I can do. And then we had the next class. The next class, we got through everything. I'm very proud of them for that. We got through the notes we didn't get to last class, and we got through today's notes, except for like the little last bit of it, which we can do next class. That's fine. So we got through all the information. We just didn't do it as gracefully as the other class did. There were a few students who, as usual for that class, were very talkative, very disruptive, very disrespectful to me. They weren't blatantly disrespectful. They didn't call me names. They didn't like roll their eyes at me. They didn't do anything to me. But when you're the teacher and you're lecturing, the expectation is that your students are paying attention and they're quiet. And my class doesn't know that expectation, I guess. I need to communicate it more clearly. But yeah, they were a little loud. I used proximity. I tried to teach from where they were, and that worked for a good little bit. But there was just a few students who just weren't really catching on that I was trying to actually teach them. And so one of the other classmates tells the ones that are talking to shut the F up. And I was like, thank you for trying to manage the class, but you can't use those words to do it, and you need to do it in a more respectful way. And so I kind of dealt with it. I dealt with it well. For my first time dealing with that big of an issue in the classroom, I think I did well. But there are definitely things I think I need to change. I ended up kicking 3 of the students who were talking the most out. And it worked because my co-op was there as well. And so he could just take them in the other room. And that worked out. But I didn't really do anything to the girl who used profanity and just kind of like called the other students out. So I think next time I need to be more fair and address both sides of the issue. But I think for it being my first time dealing with that and my first time kicking kids out of the classroom, I think it went pretty well. I think I handled it well. When they left the classroom, I turned to the rest of the class and I was like, that is not how I want this class to go. That's not how I want to lead this class. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. And I was like, but I will say they are not the only ones who have contributed to the disruptiveness of this class. Everyone in this classroom has had a part in the environment that we are learning in. And they're like, I haven't done anything. I haven't said anything. And I was like, whether you had a big role or a small role, or if you don't think you had a part, or you know you had a part, everyone in this room has had a part in the disruptive nature of this class. And I need you guys to know that when I am up here lecturing, when I am giving you information you need to pass the test, you need to pay attention. You need to be quiet, be respectful, and listen. And I promise I will make activities into each lesson. I will do my best to have a section of the lesson where you can move, you can talk, you can do those things. But when I need to give you information, you need to pay attention. And so they understood that. A lot of them understood what was going on in the first place. Like, there was a lot of students trying to get the ones that were talking a lot to stop talking. One girl was like, yeah, you guys are being disrespectful, you don't need to be quiet, type of thing. But they like weren't listening. And I was like, these students are trying to help me out, they're trying to learn, but there's these group of students who aren't trying to do the same thing. And so unfortunately I did have to kick them out, and I made sure at the end of class to go into the other room, and I didn't catch one of the kids, but I caught two of them. I was like, I don't want you to feel like I'm singling you out. I want you to know that it was just the easiest way to deal with the situation was to get the three of you out of the classroom. But you were disrupting class, and I need you to rein it in when we're going over material in that way. So I hope I rounded it out. I hope I addressed it well to all of them, but I don't know quite, I don't know yet if I rubbed them the wrong way or really what happened with that. So we'll see next class that I have them, what happens with that. But my co-op think I dealt with it pretty well. But he's like, you need to work on your classroom management. I was like, okay, I'm trying. Like, I make good lesson plans, but I just need to make sure the kids are participating in lesson plans. So that was an interesting story for today. And yeah, so that's what happened. Also, my sociology class went really well. We had a good discussion. We got a new kid who's kind of talkative, so we'll see how that plays out. But they liked what we were talking about, so that was good. I got a lot of feedback. There was a lot of participation from different people around the room. I need to figure out how to structure discussions in a way when I'm doing my lessons, because I like them to take notes, but as they take notes, ask them questions. And it's not really conducive to do that in the rows I have them in. So I think what we might do next class is have a horseshoe for sociology, so they can still see the notes, but then have a more like back-to-back discussion. So we'll try that out and see how that works. But yeah, so that's it for my school day. But I do want to say I had my first interview with a nearby district, and it went phenomenal. Basically, when they were wrapping it up, the assistant principal that was interviewing me was like, I'm gonna put the little plug in for our high school, but I just want you to know that this district could use a teacher like you. I'm paraphrasing, but what I heard was this district could use a teacher like you. And you seem to, based on your resume and based on your answers in this interview, you seem to align with the goals and characteristics of our district. And so he's like, I know you're gonna have a lot of choices, you're gonna have difficult choices to make, but keep our high school in mind as you make those decisions. And so I was like, oh yay, it went really well. And I was like, it's not just a feeling I had that it went really well, like he's telling me that I'm doing good and the answers I gave were good, and like I am a marketable person. So that makes me feel really good. And when I left, I've subbed at that high school before, and their announcements are very, very cool. They're very energetic. Like the principals and secretary people that get on the phone to do the announcements are very excited about what they do. But yes, but this guy specifically, like I hear him on the announcement and he's just like so peppy and so excited to be there. And I was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, I've subbed here. It's the only high school I subbed at in this district. But I hear your voice on the announcements, and it's nice to finally see the face with the name. And he was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, I love the announcements here, they're so fun. They start the day off good and energetic. And so I hope, I'm pretty sure we got a good deal with that one, but we'll see, fingers crossed, how the next phase of this happens. I have another interview on Saturday at a job fair nearby, so we'll see how that goes too. But I can see that in my mirror that I'm losing light, so sorry if I do not, you can't see me. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. And remember, make today great.